Ziggs bomb comes down. There's a lot of follow-up. There's a lot of chain kind of damage that they can throw out here. But we are getting ready, and we are on to the Rift for our first game of the day between Nativz and Domino. See how this game goes down. I'm loving Domino's draft. I think I've been quite vocal about that one. But keep our eyes on how this game is going to break out. As this Sivir and Ashe lane, you are into a Ziggs, but you're going to have some serious shove, especially early, because Ziggs kind of needs that Ludens to be able to really take over the lane and just perma-shove. Once that Ludens comes in, you know, it does get a little bit better. I mean, at least having that blasting, not the blasting, the lost chapter does help a bit. But until, you know, at least that lost chapter comes in, Larry and Snabby probably going to just be playing a little bit on the back foot here. So overall, Nativz, they've got quite a lot of prior to start off with.
Yeah, no, completely. And I think it's going to be really difficult to deal with that early. Like, looking at that Ashe, I'm terrified. I don't know if you've seen much Ashe globally right now, but essentially she just hits you with Halo Blades, gets all 3 stacks of the Spectral Sickle, and there is no trade back because you have chunked so hard. And this is the early priority I wanted to see to use. They have a lot of range advantage here. Nautilus has a hook, but they've decided, you know what, we're going to concede it. We're going to map split bot lane. And this is exactly what I want to see, because now, with this map split bot lane, the only win condition that Snabby has on this Nautilus is to hook in lane. But when you're map split on, you don't want to get chunked because you might be dived, right, with this mid priority from the Syndra. So you just have to sit under your tower, and eventually you're going to start losing plates. Plates recently did get buffed to be like, I believe it's 160 gold, 180 gold or something like this. So that will be an extreme weakness here.
Alrighty, well, the game has started out, and we are seeing Snabby. He currently did just go for an invade, actually. I totally missed that he's taken away the red buff from Seabull here. Seabull obviously... Actually, wait, no, sorry. Seabull's invading him.
You lost me there.
They've cross-mapped. I did not even notice. I'm just having a complete brain fart. I'm like, junglers in their jungle? That must be the lane they play for. That must be the team they are playing for. But here we go. Seabull now moving in to his side of the jungle. This does mean, obviously, with the fact that Seabull's bot side is going to have a serious amount of prio, this does build him a lot of space, a lot of room. So I'm interested to see, you know, what he's going to do with that. The Hawk shot does go out as well, and I believe that spotted out Shackle. They'll at least know roughly what he's been up to. So it's going to be a bit of a, I guess, kind of just a slower game for the side of Spuda. In the top side, he is obviously going to be... Oh, hello. We're back. Yeah. We're back to us. I believe there's a few sound issues, and I think that's probably what we are back on us for. But yeah, I feel like this game, you know, with the fact that you split the map in half, you know where the prio is going to be. I think everybody's just going to accept what side of the map they're on, if they're on the weak side or if they're on the strong side. And I think that would probably just be the case. They're going to have to just relax out for a moment and just catch these waves. I guess, you know, what we can look at then, Aragon, is, you know, where do you expect the plays to go down? Where do you expect, like, you know, it doesn't have to be a kill, but where do you think, you know, the kind of big action's going to be? And, you know, the first major move, I guess, of the game.
Yeah. I think if players mess up on weak side, right, I think that's a big avenue, because Renekton's obviously notorious for diving. I think Gragas does have to mess up, though, because if Gragas is full HP, that dive is not happening with that damage reduction and natural beefiness and CC. So I think if Spuda messes up on weak side, that is definitely a dive angle. The exact same for the other side of the map, too. I think Ziggs and Nautilus can get dived if they get chunked too much, right, because they can bring down Syndra with mid priority as well. Yeah. I think that's definitely another avenue. Then the obvious answer is level 6. I will say that Domino don't hate this, right? It's pretty miserable that they don't hate this, because now they can play for Fjumpbun. Fjumpbun has free reign to permanently trade and set up dives as well with some wave management. And Diana gets to scale to level 6 uncontested, right? With that top side of the map just permanently farming rather than being invaded. So I don't think this is the end of the world for them. I will say I don't think much is going to happen. I feel like the teams will play safe, right? On that weak side, they won't get chunked too hard, and I think we'll see action at about the 8-minute mark at Herald.
Okay, so then is that going to be Nativz setting it up? Because obviously we're talking about how Domino are going to be happy with this. It's going to allow their jungler just to catch 6 on that Diana for free. But, you know, Nativz, we've said, you know, first of all, they're probably going to fall off quite hard compared to Domino's lineup and what they've drafted here. So the question is, you know, what are they going to do? What are Nativz going to do with the current state of the game then? You know, what is their game plan for these first 8 minutes? Are they going to look to set up for the Herald and grab their hands on that? Or do you think maybe the jungle has other options?
I think it's really difficult. Your other options include cross-mapping bot as well, right? Because contesting Herald against a level 6 Diana, Yasuo, Nautilus, it doesn't sound like my cup of tea with like loads of immobile AD carries, like an Ash Severe type deal. Yeah, that doesn't sound great to me, right? Whereas early game, I think what else you can do is perma push in the bot lane and take plates gradually, because you're going to naturally take about 2 plates, I think, in the early lane phase, because you're just free hitting the tower under tower with 2 AD carries, right? So I think your alternative is to try and cross map, maybe dive or something bot side, which is difficult, granted, but maybe that's your alternate play.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hopefully these technical issues will be resolved fairly soon, and we will be able to get back into our first game. We are just waiting. Oh, there we go. The magic words were said.
Nice.
It's my bad. The casters forgot to start the game again. Here we are. We are in it for the game. As expected, having shoved in this lane. Like I said, Larry's going to need a bit of time, a couple of minutes, to at least that Ludens to be able to get full control and one. He is probably just going to be playing a little bit more relaxed. There's got to be for that very reason. He suffers so much on the old mana front. A little bit of jumping in the mid lane. I don't really think they're going to be going for too much more. Shaolin did flash out. Yes. Looks like he is going to be A-okay. They did actually have Seaball. I didn't see Seaball underneath Unexpected's icon on the minimap, so I was like, huh. There's a jungler there. Speaking of junglers being there, looking for the hook, it is going to get flashed away there by Remix to get the bot back onto Baloo, as now he has to flash out as well. Shackle's keeping the pressure up, and it looks like they've just about been able to turn that and walk away, but a big chunk and both of the flashes down on Remix and Baloo to kick it off.
Yep, good flash for Remix here, but the re-engage...
He eats a hook? What was that? He just walked into it. I mean, that's a massive mistake.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of disrespect thinking maybe Shackle went immediately back to farming, right? Really bizarre stuff from Baloo. It's like he's impatient and just doesn't wait out. You know, the fact that maybe he could re-gank because their flashes are blown, right? That's the whole idea of re-ganking. So I guess Shackle just takes a free kill, and this is exactly what you don't want to see, because like we said, Nativz are on a timer and now they're behind, right? I will highlight that Baloo has had some quite iffy deaths. I don't know if you remember way back to like week 1 and 2, that Heimerdinger invade where he just dies, or they just die level 1.
Yes.
Right? So a little bit of a miscoordination coming out again. Pretty consistent issue that we've seen.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake there from Baloo. I say a bit of a mistake, a pretty rough one as well, because we were talking about how Shackle wants to just kind of farm up to 6. They get a gank where they're basically wasting time. You know, they're not being able to take farm as they are just going for the gank, but at the end of the day, it pays off. He gets the gold. He's got his Hextech Alternator already finished up and has that kill. So he's got the experience that follows with it. Remix does end up losing a little bit of HP here to Larry, but I think he's just wanting a reset. Wanting to make sure this wave does somewhat shove in. Is Baloo walking up. Obviously feels comfortable behind the minion wave, which Larry makes quick work of. So isn't going to be able to go for too much more. Now, Shackle, level 5, has only recently just ticked over to it, so I don't think he's going to be going in on Unexpected anytime soon. Both of these mids have used their teleports there. Shackle, actually, he's pretty close to 6 now. So, has to go to his other side of the map if he wants to hit that 6 mark, unfortunately. So, won't be going for a play there, although red buff is spawning up. Spooder right now is playing weak side, as expected. You know, his jungler was playing on the other side of the map at the beginning of the game. So, he has fallen back a little bit to Flumpbun, who is pressuring him pretty heavily in this top side.
Lots of pings coming down. I think they're starting up Dragon right now to secure the neutrals, to potentially try and accelerate themselves in. I will say this is a bit sketchy because the Dragon's only just been started. Diana could come down, and there are no flashes for Remix and Baloo. They just got popped. So this is the danger, right? Early game, if you are an early game composition and you want to force, having no summoners now for a composition that can lock you down like this, I don't think they can do this, right? Look at that Hex Flash coming down. He's just going to hook in.
Yep, he does miss that hook. Luckily for the side of Nativz. Big thing to note, Flumpbun hasn't used his teleport. Spooder used his to get back to top side. So with this in mind, Nativz might just have to give up this dragon. Tornado zoning, traps zoning. Not going to land it with the boomerang blade. And Domino, just get a free dragon.
Getting a dragon this early, it's really something. I don't like using the word desperation, but there was no... Like, it was impossible to start that, right? Having no flashes on an immobile AD carry bot lane composition is really rough versus a lot of hard engage, right? Versus, like, this hard engage of potentially a level 6, you know how you have all the ults, you have hook, everything like this. You are just a sitting duck So starting the dragon like that, getting chunked, you know, even if Xin Zhao got hit, right, and flashed away, it's still really rough because then you lose playmaking tools like level 6 and everything like this. So I want to reiterate just how crucial it was that Remix and Baloo lost those flashes early, because now your playmaking is really limited.
Yeah, it's definitely really slowed them down quite a lot. And also Baloo, pretty far behind in experience right now. Obviously, Remix getting a bit of free time after Baloo died, has only just ticked over to that 5, so hasn't quite got the enchanted crystal arrow up to really set up that line, that non-committal long-range engage this team has. But then again, you also are playing into a Yasuo, so later a wind wall just kind of shuts that down, and it's less you can just fire them out willy-nilly and hope that it's going to land, because unfortunately, if the Yasuo's not CC'd, odds are he's just going to put that wind wall up and protect his team.
Yeah, and they are moving into the Herald. They're starting it up, actually. They're just confident they can do this. They've got the level 7 Diana and the level 6 Yasuo combo. Level 8 Yasuo, rather. He's accelerated. Diana's accelerated. There's no way this is contestable because they're rotating now, but it's way too late. Look at Baloo. He's running up river, and this Herald is just going to ding. He's going to realize, wait, what's going on, and run back down. I think this is an incredible play. I think the hook lands.
Yeah, he's going to eat it, and the last breath, Shaolin just gifted the kill. Siebel, a little bit optimistic for him to try and walk up there, but unfortunately, isn't going to be too much more. Shackle, he has the Rift Herald, he has Snabby and Spooder. He's very much aware where this team is, and this is probably just going to be first Tower Blood. Nice and early. Domino really putting a stamp down on this game. They decide not to go for that first Tower Blood. They're comfortable that front bun is going to be able to pick up at least a couple of plates here, or at least just the one. Ooh. And they may just look to try and actually put the Herald down in the mid side, get some plates over to Shaolin, but also, you know, you want to open this tower up, at least on that second Rift Herald, because you're into a Syndra, you're into a Sivir. Later, actually pushing and taking these towers is going to be so hard for the side of Domino when there's just almost an infinite amount of wave clear available to Nativz.
No, absolutely, right. But then you got to question, how far ahead are they? Right? Can they just tower dive? Because we're getting to a point where I'm really concerned. They decided not to place the Herald top lane. I completely agree with everything you're saying. I also think the fact that if you place Herald top lane now, you end the laning phase of top lane. And I'm pretty sure Fjumpun's pretty happy just constantly bullying out Spooder. He's got a natural CS lead on top of taking natural plates on his own. So I think they could just save the Herald, continue to let him get Demolish Proc top lane free plates, and then use the Herald elsewhere. Maybe you accelerate the Yasuo or the other AP threat in the Ziggs, you know, because Herald charge plus a satchel could just be the death of bot lane turret, you know, and that way you get more gold overall with that Herald. Does look like that might be the play, but we'll have to see as the timer runs down.
Yeah, I think that is something to kind of note as well. When you got Ziggs, towers, they're not as tanky as they normally are. They're basically effectively missing a big chunk of health because Ziggs can just pop them and guarantee the tower going down. So you are kind of playing with less health on your turret. And it looks like Domino now rotating their entire bot side of the map over towards this mid lane with the Herald in the pocket of Shackle. Dragon not up for another minute, but they are just going to pressure up and look to get the plates started up. Expect to see the Rift Herald go down in the next few seconds. With the Ziggs here, they are guaranteeing that this tower does go down.
And look at Baloo, right? He's only just arrived because he can't walk any faster. He's forced to go the long way round because he's really scared of walking to vision. Look at that line of vision just above Dragon for the side of Domino. Baloo can't go anywhere near that, so he has to take 10 to 15 seconds to walk further round to eventually defend the Rift Herald, right?
They stopped the charge.
Yeah, the Rift Herald charge got stopped. Wait, I didn't even notice that. Wait, what? That's very interesting news.
Oh, no.
That's a disaster.
That is so bad, because they had the satchel down and they were guaranteed that tower with plates. And unfortunately, really solid stuff coming in from Nativz. Remix is going to eat this. He can't really use the spell shield. He flashes. He's out. Great arrow actually coming in, but in comes the bouncing bomb. Saved by the spell shield. Somehow, Remix limps out of bot lane there.
Where was the spell shield on the hook? He must have had it popped by a satchel or something, or just blocked a bomb. Really interesting stuff, but he has to pop the heal, has to put the flash once again. So once again, this early game composition is not going to be able to contest dragons with their summoners. Little individual errors are costing them team play opportunities, which is incredibly crucial to play like this. You cannot draft early game compositions and mess up the early game like this. It's just really not allowed. And now Domino are going to take full advantage of this, take their second dragon with an outscaling composition.
There it is. Dragon number 2. Let's see what the soul is going to be. It's a Hextech soul as well. So got those kind of AoE slows coming in from Laurie's Qs, which is going to be extra unfun for the side of Nativz. A bit more CDR as well. Means you can get the Last Breath and Moonfall combination down, or Last Moonfall. It's a nice little combo name for it.
Honestly, I hate Hextech Soul. Sorry. Whilst you were talking about it, I was just thinking about how much I hate Hextech Soul. I don't know if you played against it much, but
I've played
when you
against
get
it
slowed, it is so brutal. It gives you damage and slow, like on a chain, like static shiv effect. I absolutely despise it, honestly. I think it's one of the most broken, if not the most broken dragon. But this tower is so low right now. I think one more Demolish proc and he gets put to pretty low HP. He might be able to take this solo, especially now that plates are going to fall in a couple minutes.
Just kind of going back to the Hextech Soul. I think the reason we just accepted it last season was because we had Chemtech Soul at the beginning of the season, and like that was infinitely worse. So everyone went, yeah, Hextech Soul's fine, because like by comparison, it was actually just infinitely better than what we got. I like the new Chemtech.
Ooh, this flank.
It is good flank coming in. They actually do get the jump down onto Seabull. He tries to jump away. Shaolin flashes. He's got a minion wave to chase with. So not going to be under any real threat here. Spooder takes the Blast Cone and the Belly Bop away to safety, as it does look like Domino are on the hunt here, but Spooder is going to be able to just about get away, although Snabby has found him. Isn't going to go in for the hook. It's just going to walk away. So they take away a couple of jungle camps. They got that first tower blood for themselves as well. And the Ziggs bomb means this tower not really under any real threat here, as Baloo just going to eat a tower shot. The Leandries, sorry, he actually went for the Leandries over the Ludens. Been a hot minute since I've seen Ziggs bomb, to be fair. Effectively exactly the same though. Like, you can still one-shot the waves with this build versus, you know, what he could do earlier. So at this point, bot lane is relatively safe for the side of Larry to be working with. You can just clear these waves and not be under any real threat. With the Rift Herald spawning up soon as well, I'm expecting to see the likes of Domino rotate over towards that and look to pick it up. Obviously, wanted to get that Rift Herald and hopefully take this mid tower down, unlike their previous attempt, which was thwarted by the side of Nativz.
No, absolutely. And like you said, that wave clear coming down from the Ziggs means there's no cross-map opportunity. Yes, he's down CS, but does it matter? Like, the Ziggs is unlocked to be able to just sit down bot side without, you know, being under any threat of dive, whilst Nautilus, Snabby on this Nautilus, can just run around making plays. And this is exactly what we said in draft. Now, the Yasuo, Diana, Nautilus combo is here, and you just cannot contest any neutrals, and you also cannot cross-map. So effectively, just domination from the side of Domino. They just... I hate that pun. Jesus Christ. That was really, really solid play, because there's no proactive play Nativz can make.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Unfortunately, they do pay the price a little bit on that one, and with the Rift Herald going down, Domino going to be uncontested on this one. Expectation is it's going to go into that mid lane, as does look like Nativz actually sending multiple people over towards bot side. Ziggs bomb's about to come back up for Larry though, so he can just clear this wave out from the distance if he needs to. Seabull will give himself away, and just watch for the Ziggs bomb. It's going to take out so much of this wave. Seabull can't really step up any further now, but the bombs are on the floor. He does have to be careful because he's getting jumped onto. They're bringing the teleport in. He dodges away. A great hook comes in. Larry flashes away. Seabull's going to get finished up with the tower. Bomb lands onto Remix. No spell shield anymore. And Flumpbun will chase him down. Great slow coming in, but in comes Shackle. Going to jump in forward, secure that kill with the dash forwards. And actually, they are continuing the chase here for Flumpbun as he takes an unleashed power. Is going a little bit low. Snabby jumps in with the hook into the Last Breath. Spooder gets the belly bop off, and Flumpbun goes down. Shutdown picked up for Flumpbun, but at the end of the day, Domino absolutely crushing that team fight in the bot lane.
And Spood just comes in just in time to pick up a consolation prize for the side of Nativz. Finally, something in return. But Flumpbun, honestly, overreaching there a little bit. You can see in this replay, he doesn't really need to go forward here. The play is won. You've essentially secured vision for your team now because you have taken solo kills. And you can wait for the minion waves to crash, then move together and zone off XP or dive afterwards. Regardless, the play works out. Flumpbun loses his life, but then you get the Yasuo and the Nautilus combination. It's so easy for the side of Domino to proc this Yasuo ulti. There's so many knockups, and once again, a testament to their really easy and good drafts. Not necessarily meta, but really well-made, constructed, and they're all on theme.
Absolutely. Really, really nice stuff coming in from these guys. 18 minutes on the clock. Gold lead very comfortably in favor of Domino right now. Just rocking a 6k gold lead over their opponents as Shaolin got himself 3 items on the Yasuo shield bow, got that zeal, so he's at 100% crit now, as Yasuo passive is fun, and also building that BF sword. So I'm assuming we're going to see the Infinity Edge come out from him soon. Obviously, new and improved Infinity Edge actually kind of doesn't matter for Yasuo because he never really struggled with it thanks to his passive. But, you know, we'll probably be building towards that one. As, on the side of Remix, actually, not going for the Navari second, is rocking a Vamp Scepter. Curious what he's going to be building here. Obviously, there were a few changes. Oh, Remix! Able to survive thanks to his spell shield. There were a few changes to Bloodthirster on the patch we're currently playing on. Bit better as a later scaling item, more than a kind of second item build here, but maybe he feels he just needs that added security. Maybe there's another item I'm totally missing here that he's picking up with that Vamp Scepter.
I think it's probably the Vamp Scepter, right? I think the idea is probably he's getting poked a lot and he wants to be able to stay in permapush. I've seen Vamp Scepter like early. I saw it last patch in the LPL on some picks versus like double ranged. Snabby?
He's got spell shield. He's going to be A-okay. Pops the ultimate as well there. Don't really think there's too much his team can do with that. Remix is honestly playing with fire, but Snabby just is kind of missing a lot of hooks. And at the end of the day, it's working in his favor. He's able to hold out as the Ash Arrow does connect here. Spooder's going to throw the casket in. They just bop him straight back into the middle of the team. Remix finds himself the kill. Lovely little pick there with the Ash Arrow.
And you gotta feel bad for Spooder. He gets placed on weak side, and everything is... You know that meme of the dog where the house is on fire? That's just what it feels like to be Spooder right now. He's left lane, and everything is on fire. He's trying to make plays and maybe band-aid everything back together, but he's gonna have to do a lot of band-aiding. Everything is not going well, and he is, granted, he's doing pretty good. I'd look at maybe getting a bounty onto the Yasuo, you know, that 500 gold bounty here. Avenues he can come back in, probably picking off the Yasuo and the Diana, but then you're picking them off together and their combo is really potent. So honestly, on Domino to mess up right now. But again, I just look at that bounty and it's pretty juicy.
Actually does look like it's going to be the Bloodthirster second here for Remix. Unless he's going Infinity Edge second. Just
probably second after Vamp. Yeah.
I feel like that's probably going to be the option for him. Obviously, you know, enough life steal from Vamp Scepter.
Sorry, rather, Navori. Navori second for Severe, I'm pretty sure, is meta right now. Good enough wave clear and stuff like this, because the CDR is pretty good.
But he's got a BF sword. So that means he has to be going Bloodthirster then, instead of Navori.
Oh gosh, I've forgotten the build path in Navori.
It's Warhammer, Pickaxe, and Crit Cloak.
Oh, okay. That is a strange build path. Okay.
Yeah, so he's either going Bloodthirster like second, just because he's worried about Shackle and Shaolin killing him, and obviously you get a lot larger shield once you're like that post 9. So he is level 12, so the shield is going to be actually very effective for him. I can't remember what number it goes up to now. I did check it out earlier. I want to say like 600, but I might be wrong. That might be quite a big shield.
Might be overshooting a little bit. That sounds absolutely nuts.
I need to look it up.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm typing it.
It is a lot stronger, right? It will essentially make you a little bit beefier. It won't stop you dying, though, right? Riot explicitly stated that the new Bloodthirster changes won't stop you dying, but they will make you a little bit beefier, you know, at level 16 or so. Level 18, you're still going to get one shot, you know. It won't stop you dying to this 3-0 Yasuo who's almost got Infinity Edge, and the Diana who's sitting on almost 10 stacks of Dark Steel and 2 items, right? It's not going to be enough for that, but it will make you slightly tankier if you need it.
Well, the League of Legends website is bugging out for me, so I can't find it. But yeah, you're probably right. 600 is absolutely crazy. But he has got Bloodthirster. It's so funny, because me and Aragon, when we were doing our prep today, I was like, I can't remember the last time I've seen someone build a Bloodthirster. It's been so long. I was like, most of the time you see someone pick it up, it's got like a 5th, 6th item, and they just want a little bit more sustain for the later game fights. But I guess Remix that he's very nervous about the amount of poke that Larry can put down, because I guess when you're playing into something like a Ziggs lane, or even just into a Ziggs game, you obviously have to worry about getting poked out, and then it just gives Diana and Yasuo that go button, and they can jump into you. There's only so much you can spell shield. As long as the Moonfall hits, you're pretty much guaranteed to go down if you've lost like a half your health to just a couple of Ziggs bombs. So I guess the sustain makes sense on that front, why he's opted into that. I assume it'll be Navari next, coming in from him, but we can talk about his build path as he progresses on in this game. Right now, Domino doing a very good job of just controlling the state of this game. I do think, though, Nativz showing a little bit more life than maybe I expected. I I kind of expect them to roll over, but they have had a few opportunities where they've used the team comp they've built well to be able to pick. Obviously, the big one was that kill on Flumpen in the mid lane when he was underneath tier 2. Ash Arrow into Cask, into Scal of the Week. I mean, you're just not moving on that one. As we are, as you can see, having a few technical issues right now. Hence the constant in and out and the pauses, but hopefully we'll have that resolved fairly soon. It wouldn't be an NLC show without technical delays, because that's I can't think of it's always the case. I've been doing this for long enough to know we always have technical delays.
Yeah. I mean, throwback to when I played UKLC, I think we paused for 20 minutes, asked for pause time from the enemy team. But anyway, just bringing it back to the team comp and the fact that they've shown glimmers of life. I kind of disagree with you. I think they are kind of rolling over. But it's a testament to the picks, testament to Spuda rather, that he's finding picks constantly. If you take a look at the games and how they secure kills, a lot of it is on the back of Spuda. He gets a lot of solo kills in lane. I think he's like second place for solo kill lead in top lane. And you can just see that he's the playmaker, right? He comes out of lane. Unfortunately, top lane's a little bit irrelevant and he likes to play weak side, so that isn't as possible early. He comes out of lane and he just finds these kills, or he finds kills on Cassante as well in lane. And you can see that he's finding picks onto this Fjumpen. Fjumpen has built to be quite squishy, right? He is building, I believe he's built Gore Drinker into Bork, which is probably one of the squishiest iterations of the Gore Drinker build that you can go, but it will give him side lane priority the entire time. So what they can do here with this build is just permanently side lane, get vision of one side, deny vision, then make picks using this Diana, Yasuo, Nautilus Yasuo as the double AD carry composition try to face check. Granted, you do have Ash Hawkshot, so it's a little bit safer alongside the blue trinkets. All right, you can see they are loaded on blue trinkets, the mid laner and the AD carry. But that's exactly what I expect to do. And as you can see, Nativz are terrified of checking for this spawning dragon. Although the Ash Arrow has been pulled, I don't think anything's going to happen.
A little bit rough for them now. Ash Arrow on cooldown. Dragon up in another 17 seconds. Obviously, it's fairly short at this point in the game, the cooldown on those Ash Arrows. Already almost halfway back off cooldown. So, quite comfortable just to be able to throw these out. Shackle coming in on the potential flank here. Goes in! The free-man moonfall! Shaolin has an easy time tidying this one up. The tornado secures him the double. And that was an absolute just whitewash of a fight. They absolutely destroyed them there. Spuda is going to teleport out. Doesn't want to be dealing with this. Absolutely beautiful flash moonfall into that last breath.
And Shackle, we mentioned his name in Champ Select, but he has been performing so well in the short amount of time that he's been on the team. He is making these plays constantly, finding the right engages in team fights and skirmishes. And now you could see that after that beautiful engage, they're going to find Dragon and the Baron. And yeah, good luck defending a siege versus a Baron up Ziggs.
Oh, unbelievable. That was disgusting coming in. Obviously, the Infinity Edge on Shaolin making life a little bit harder now that he's got that finished up. Larry got the Shadow Flame as well with that Leandries, so he has got a lot of poke, and this is getting scary for the side of Nativz. And that Bloodthirster isn't really going to do too much about the sustain. I was saying they're not rolling over. Looks like they've kind of rolled over at this point. Soul over, 25 minutes. I might have been a little bit wrong on that one, to be honest. I think the game is very much in Domino's favor right now. And Shaolin needs to be careful. He's going to face check into the bush. Eats the Ash Arrow. Does throw it out. Gets just too much CC. Shut down went to Siebel, though. Probably the worst person there who could have picked it up. Like, you could have given that over to the Syndra. You could have given it over to the Sivir. But unfortunately, Siebel does get it. So, honestly, for Domino, that's a bit of a win. But they lost the shutdown. But ultimately, it went on to the kind of earlier jungler who's 1-4 right now. And, yeah, it'll get him closer, or even his second item finished up, but he's a Xin Zhao, man. Like, you wanted that Shadow Flame picked up onto Unexpected. You wanted to be closer towards his Navari for remix. And it is definitely going to put them on the back foot for now.
And whilst you say it's a win for Domino, realistically, what else could Nativz do, right? This is the classic, guys, we need them to mess up and face check us. Let's send everyone to a random bush on the map and hope they face check. And that's exactly what they did, and props to them, they found something, but you just lose about 1,500 gold worth in towers. And once again, they're going to keep doing this, because you know in comms that's all they're saying, guys, let's hope they face check us, right? That's absolutely the play, and you always see the games come down to this, especially when someone has Hextech Soul. So what I expect to see from Domino is more controlled, you know, face checking with the Nautilus, with that Renekton who's super beefy right now, and they're just unburstable, right? And that way you set up vision bot side while sieging that tier 2 bot side, and you just end the game straight through there.
Oh, looks like they are just going to be sieging through that bot lane. I also feel like Domino probably not going to make that same mistake again. I think that was a one-off of Shaolin face checking into bushes.
Yeah.
I feel like he's learned his lesson. You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. They're just going to, as you can see, they're just moving their more comfortable face checkers through the jungle to clear out vision, make sure they know where Nativz are, and then they're just letting Larry and Shaolin shove out the waves, because between the two of them with the satchel charges, these waves don't last long. But in comes the Ash Arrow. They do throw out the ultimate there from Remix as well, but the wind wall, like we kind of predicted, does just deny that entirely. And Flumpin, meanwhile, with the Baron buff on the mid lane, just making sure that this wave does continue to shove in here. And all it really takes is another one of those big Diana ultimates, and this could just be the final nail in the coffin here for the side of Nativz. Domino did a fantastic job of controlling this one here. You see the Ziggs bombs, the Hextech Soul procs as well, just doing so much work. Look at the damage onto Unexpected, getting heavily chunked out. But to be fair to the side of Nativz, this is what we were talking about. They do have a lot of wave clear, and now that the Baron has fallen off, it's actually very hard for Domino to siege onto these lanes. Even with the poke coming in, they have enough wave clear between the Syndra and the Sivir just to be able to chunk out these waves, as Larry does take a couple of tower shots there in response.
Yeah, the wave clear is really good. Check out these waves on the side wave though. Typically when you're sieging, you want to make sure the waves crash at the exact same time. And top lane is going in, and they're not perfectly in sync, Domino, here with this siege. The waves are kind of crashing staggered, which means Nativz can actually follow Domino around as they go for one wave at a time, which means in the end that the siege does not happen, right? I'll be honest, I was kind of scared there for Nativz. I thought that pretty much Shackle could actually go for that even under tower. Granted, is the only way Domino loses, right? So maybe they just play the slow game, say, guys, let's just end this game. Matters a lot. We are very similar in standings. We need to win. But I saw Shackle had a stopwatch. I saw, you know, they're 20,000 gold ahead. Let's just go for it, you know? But it does look like Fjumpan might have overstayed his welcome and died to Sebel.
Yeah, he does.
Don't think it'll happen.
Get clipped by the E there from Sebel, but he's level 16. He is hard to kill as Remix jumps away, but they are going to chase him. Mega Inferno Bomb lands as well. He's ignited. He's low, but he's able to survive for just a little bit longer. His tower won't be quite so lucky. Domino able to force the flash and the heal out of Remix, and now Flumpun needs to be dealt with on the top side of the map. Meanwhile, bot side also pushing in response. Remix actually looking at the build, going for the Infinity Edge. You can see the Ash Arrow come down, eaten up once again by the Wind Wall. Kind of what we expected from this pickup here. And ultimately, Nativz do still hang on to their base. Yes, they lose their mid lane turret there, but they don't lose the inhibitor. They can still catch the waves. And I think this actually kind of goes back to just Domino not syncing up their waves like you were hitting on. You know, these are kind of silly mistakes that you do see coming out of some of the teams. You know, basic sieging macro is making sure that you have the waves synced up and you are crashing them at the right time.
But can I just say, what a beautiful draft. I went up and looked who the coach is, and I don't know if the coach, because sometimes players do drafts, right? But, you know, if you are the coach and you did this, we can already see the players on the team who might have drafted. Scythe, I believe your name is. This is a beautiful draft. You know, your drafts are very good. I really love this Yasuo pick into the Ashe, because the Ashe strength is just gone, you know? Yes, Ashe Arrow might have a 30-second cooldown, but that's the same cooldown as Windwall, if not lower, you know? I believe it's 25 seconds at base rank. So what can you do? You just have no engage window. You just get sieged upon. You can't hard engage into the Ziggs to stop the siege, and you just eventually lose, getting slow pushed down, getting sieged down rather, just getting poked down with the towers, and eventually they're just going to lose the Nexus.
Yes, and I think we're at the point as well where we kind of hit on the scaling, and that scaling is very much come alive. I think there is still a little bit of hope in the sense where, like, Remix can get to a point where, you know, he could potentially carry a team fight if he's given the space. The problem is when a Nautilus ult chases you, when a Diana chases you, with a Yasuo who can follow up, It's very hard for him to actually buy himself that space and get that opportunity. It's about to get harder, though, unless Seaball makes the steal. He's not going to be able to do it. Instantly picked up with the Gift of the Elder and the Mega Inferno Bomb coming down. It is now a 4 versus 5 for the next 40 seconds. Domino, they can turn their attention towards Baron and play this by the books, or they can just use their power and their strength on the map right now to strong-arm themselves into the base. We've still got 30 seconds until Seville comes back up, so they may just look for this inhibitor and then look to back off.
Yeah, I don't even think they're going to care. They're just going to barrel it down mid lane. I think they're going to brute force it, Hitbrain, like you said. They don't have to be scared. They have Elder. I think a single bomb half hits someone, so it looks like they're going to dive without any cares in the world, and it's going to be the end.
Oh, Spooner jumps away. There we go. A massive Yasuo ult with the Gift of the Elder. The last couple of members full, and Domino put on a very, very good game to open it up. Absolutely massive win